Yo, what's going on, guys? It's CoJoMo here, back with another video. Now, in the past, I've talked about how to avoid drifting inside of Counter-Strike 2, and if you're not understanding what that is, it's okay because we're going to talk about that today. But I wanted to expand on that further and help you understand how to take advantage of players in a transition zone. So we're going to hop into that. But before we do get into it, I do have to give you a message about something related to Counter-Strike 2 skins.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, CoJo. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about how we can take advantage of players being in this transition zone and what that even means. Now, players in Counter-Strike 2 are always going to be trying to position, push, fall back, and do all these things. The map in Counter-Strike 2 is kind of like a chessboard, right? We're trying to control different parts of the map, and in order to do that, we have to position our bodies and be in different places, right? So how do we take advantage of this concept in a way that we can replicate it and become a better player from it? Because a lot of us are just running around not thinking about this kind of stuff. We are going to understand how to take advantage of when our opponents are in transition. Being in transition means we are going from one spot to another. Now on Ancient, this can mean we are a mid player, maybe we smoke down mid and we're running out of smokes to resmoke and the T's are on shelf. We need to get out of here because we're about to start being exposed to both elbow and shelf. So we need to transition out of this aggressive place into a more passive place, right? Now, if your CT is good, he's going to make sure that he can do this and, do it in a manner where he's not really scared to get peaked. But even in high level 10 pugs, at LAN matches, at these most competitions you're going to be at until you get to the top of the top of the top, these players are going to make mistakes and they're not going to understand when they should be transitioning and why they should. So that's how you're going to take advantage of this, because as they are running back, they're holding S. Their brain's not as focused on what's in front of them because they're thinking about the next plan. We want to kill them as they are from like this area coming back to here, right? They're falling back to donut. We want to kill them before they get stuck in here and they can like now control the fight. We want to control the fight while they're not in control. So the easiest way to do this, and something that you can do this from level 1 on Face It up to level 10, low level 10, mid level 10, consistently every single time, is listen for noise. They will make no secret that they are transitioning. A good player, he's not going to let you know he's transitioning. He's going to, maybe flash off shelf, he's going to throw utility, and then while the utility's up, he's going to run back and do that if he's going to make noise, or he's just going to slowly walk back, maybe change his angle to make it a little more shallow, and then when he gets over here, that's where he's going to get back and be quiet about it. But lower level players will not. So when you hear this noise, be aggressive and be certain with your fight. When you know that they're transitioning and you hear them running back through here, put your crosshair where you think they are, swing out and get ready to shoot them. Because from their perspective, they're running back, they're uncertain, they're just trying to get into the next spot. Take advantage of them doing that, right? Take advantage of them. That sounds so bad, but like really, and it's that simple as far as when the audio is going on. Another way we can, think about this is when we get into very aggressive lurk spots, right? So say we're on the T side, we can take advantage of transitioning players just by being in the right place at the right time. A lot of times I see aggressive, really good players find themselves in lurk spots, and this is how you're going to do this at a high level, because when you're playing high level pugs, league matches, I'd say like main, advanced plus, maybe not main, advanced plus, and you're getting up there playing good players. The best way to find players transitioning is by getting in spots they're not ready for. So we're lurked up here, they have a guy long, and like he's like doesn't see anyone in here, and maybe his teammate is coming out of cave. Then he's coming out of cave, and he could even have his gun out. He's coming out of cave, but he's just going into here, and boom, because he's not even ready for you to be in an aggressive lurk spot, you just found a free fight. You might not kill him, maybe it's rough, maybe it's not the best, but you found him in transition, and that's free damage, free opportunity. And now this guy is so pressured, he's like, oh dude, like what, bro, someone's here, and like hopefully you kill him. But if you don't, that's where like having teammates close to you to hold your other side is great, because you found this guy in transition. the worst part is like, you know, in order to get to these spots though, you kind of have to be the player in transition. So it's a risk and, you know, reward kind of thing, because when you're walking up here, this is you transitioning into here. When you're in this area, you are so vulnerable. So one thing I want you guys to think about is understanding the risk of it all. You're gonna have to transition, you're gonna have to do this, but understand the risk and reward of everything, right? Is it worth it to transition into the zone? Could they pop out at this moment? If nobody's near you, you can transition all you want. If your teammates are saying, if you're on CT side and you're the A player and your teammates are like, there's 4 guys B and your mid player's like, in the last one, the other guy is shelf, the other guy's shelf. Oh, well, I mean, you can be on A and you can play anywhere you want. Nobody's gonna kill you if the information's correct. You could knife out into A main if you wanted, right? You can knife out anywhere you wanted. But maybe you're on A and you want to play big box. Look how risky this is. I mean, you can do this, right? Like, you can do this, but again, it's the reward of and the risk of it all. Maybe you want to transition to big box. Well, now you're walking in through here, and as you're crossing these angles, you are very exposed and you're giving them the fight. But if you make it here, it's worth it. So you'll see really smart players only make this risk, you know, when they have utility up. Maybe they smoke a main. Well, one, wait for it to pop. They smoke a main, they're jiggling until anyone's out, and then they transition by walking in here, right? And that's actually good because you also faked a smoke from default, because if a guy was close A main here, he sees the trajectory of it all, and he's like, oh, they just smoked from default. The A player's on default right now. And then you're just feeding false information to them, and maybe that's where you slide in for a sneaky play back here, and then you have a teammate donut. Right? Do you see how, like, when we're transitioning and doing these type of things, we want to make sure we are as covered as possible. You don't want to get caught off in these moments and, you know, running through these different areas. And it's just something on both CT and T side, right? I'll use mid Mirage for an example. You don't want to be, as a T, exposed in the middle of mid for longer than you have to, because that's a transition zone. While windows smoked off, while connectors like taken, sure, it's not as bad to be in the middle of mid. But if window's not smoked, if they're swinging off cat and doing these things, you're screwed, because you're in transition zone and there's so many things you have to worry about. There's so many angles, there's so much stuff, right? It's in general, while you'll see why you will see on CT side, like, players aren't going to be out here, you know, often. They're not. They're going to be playing behind pillar. They're going to be playing in these long corners. Why? Because if they get blind, if they get flash, if they get caught out, it's as simple as, oh, I'm tucked, and hopefully that's where team play comes in, where he's now tucked. It's impossible to kill that guy with just guns. Maybe utility can kill him, but it's impossible to kill that guy now until we widen our angle, and maybe that's where we have a teammate helping us out there. Do you see why being in transition zone just screws you over in so many different ways? And man, I can't talk right now. I don't know why, but it's just something that I see most players not understanding, and it will take your game to the next level when you can at least understand this, right? And a lot of times, you know, when I'm coaching newer players, and I talked about it in a past video, you'll see players drifting, right? So they don't really know what they're holding or what they're doing, and they'll just sit around here, and they're supposed to be just tucked here holding this, but they'll just get bored or like unfocused, and they'll just stand up here, and then they'll be like, oh, I need to go back. And then, oh, they're just bouncing around here and doing this. Cut down on that as well. If you can cut down on the drifting and walking around, I see it on T side a lot. When people are holding, they're just like drifting around, like, and you might say, I don't do that. You do it. Every player does it. Like, I see it. It is just about cutting down on the drifting. This area when you're unsure what's going on. Maybe your teammates are like, oh, I want to take mid. Oh, I want to go A, and you're just sitting around. You're like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do? And then drifting like this is really bad. So on both sides, cut down on that. Cut down on, you know, when you're transitioning through these zones, and making sure you're just cognizant of the risk and reward of it all. That's something that we need to get better at. And guys, if you want to understand this further, if you want to see me analyze your live gameplay, I offer paid coaching services. Go ahead and check that link in the description. I'd love to help you take your game to the next level. And yeah, thank you all so much for the support. Appreciate every single one of you. It's been amazing. I'm going to keep grinding and posting these videos to make all of us better, because we love this game so much. So hit that subscribe button and go ahead and check out the videos on your screen right now, or wait for the video tomorrow. So peace out.